Hello everybody, welcome back to Total Justice Gaming. It is I, the local Tamer. Now that the new set has dropped, we have new cards, new decks, and new things to explore. Today we're going to be looking at Black Blitz Greymon that focuses around Reboot and D-Digivolution. So rolling right along into it, we're going to be looking at the in-trainings. Right off the bat, we are going to be looking at Capurimon. He's from the last set, but he still does very well in this one because this is a deck that focuses around Reboot. So all Digimon that have Reboot get additional 1,000 power, which does help out the deck quite a bit because some of the earlier rookies have a little bit low power, but they are for functionality of the deck. We are going to be running 3 Capurimons. And then we are going to be running 2 Kodkinmons because this deck also does second in RagnaLoardmon. What this one does is once per turn, if you have a level 7, gain 1 memory as an inherent skill. It's just another in training. We see the babies around it. And we are running 3 Capurimons and 2 Kodkinmons. Moving right along to the rookies, we are going to be running 12 rookies, running 4 copies of Ludomon. Ludomon is a 1,000 power, 3 casting cost, 0 Digivolution cost. It has no inheritable skill, but it does say on play, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, add 1 RagnaLoardmon Digimon card, and 1 Digimon card with Legend Arms in its type among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is a utility card. It is not known for its power. It does not get reboot, so it doesn't gain the additional 1,000 power. We're going to be using this to set up with Kakinmon to help start moving forward on our secondary line. This deck runs 2 lines. It runs Blitz Greymon as a reboot line, and it runs RagnaLoardmon on the legendary arm lines. This does have a bit of splash of red in the deck. I'm trying to test out, see how well that works. But for the most part, this is a solitary black deck, and this is our first review. Moving right along, because we are a reboot deck, we are of course going to be running 4 copies of Toy Agumon. He is all the same stats as Ludomon, only his inheritable skill is your Digimon gets reboot. He is quintessential for running our Blitz Greymon line, and that's pretty much it for him. We are running 2 copies of Gatsumon. We are not very heavy blockers in this, so I chose to run cheap blockers, and only 2 of right now. We're still testing some things out, but this is the initial build, and I've already had some good fun with it in various areas. So we're pushing it forward at 2. We may bounce up to 4, just because Gatsumon is one of the only 2 blocking Digimon in the whole deck. But it gets the job done. And then finally 2 copies of Chumon, because Chumon is much like everything else, save for Gatsumon, who is a 3,000 Digipower because he's a blocker. He's a 3 casting cost, 0 Digivolution cost, 1,000 power. He has no inheritable skill, but it has the ability, all turns, your opponents cannot gain memory with the exception of Tamer effects. So we're splashing 2 of him in to keep memory ramp under control on the opposing side. Yes, he can be taken out due to removal spells and some out-of-combat tricks, but for the most part, early game, you're going to be able to keep memory ramp a little bit under control until things escalate to maybe around the ultimate start popping out. So he's a worthy inclusion. For champions, we are going to be running a total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 champions. Running along, the first part is Tide Ludomon. A 4 casting cost, 4,000 power, 2 Digivolution cost with the inheritable skill of, while attacking, is if this Digimon is level 7, D Digivolution times 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon. If it has no Digivolution cards or becomes a grade 3, you can't reduce it any further. So this is, once we ramp up to RagnaLoardmon or our other level 7, We are going to be able to start swinging to face while constantly keeping their board at very minimal attacks, because we're going to keep pushing D-Digivolution to make sure that they can't get above champion or sometimes rookie. Next up, we're running 4 copies of Black, Greymon. He is also a 4,000 power, 2 Digivolution cost, 4 forecasting cost. He has the inheritable skills. If your Digimon has Reboot, it also gains jamming. This is quintessential for our Blitz Greymon line. This keeps him safe from security attacks. And it goes along with the whole reboot line we were trying to build to where we can continuously swing with Blitz Greymon as much as we can every turn. To round out, we are running 2 more blockers. This is Guardmon. 5 casting cost, 2 Digivolution cost, 7,000 power. He has blocker. He is just a pretty stereotypical blocker. The only thing that makes him one of the best blockers in early blockers in the game is that he's 7,000 DP. And if you combine him, have to ride him on a toy agamon, he gets reboot, and then Coperimon makes him an 8K, which is very, very good. I'm not too sure if we want to ride him on Kakinmon at this point. I would actually just also hardcast him, if possible, just because he is a 7,000 DP blocker, and that gets over most champions, almost over all rookies, and can even tie and double delete some ultimates. So he is well worth it. Speaking of ultimates, we are running 4 copies of RagnaLoardmon, who is a 6 casting cost ultimate with 3 Digivolution cost, 7,000 power. He also gets the same ability as Dilucon. If you're level 7, when you attack, D-Digivolution of 1. Meaning if you stack him on Dilucon, you're D-Digivolving 2. Only if you're at level 7. Otherwise, he is vanilla. I still kind of am trying to get used to this legendary arm thing, because you're in a rush to try to get him out to start your board control, while your second line of Blitz Greymon is coming up on the board in order to try to push for face and try to take out problematic situations. He's still worth it out of 4 of, because we do have the ability to drop at least 2 to 3 hybrid megas, or combiner megas, whichever one we like to call them. They're the level 7 megas. Other than that, he's really just there because he's big beats, and he can potentially get us start D-Digivolving and keeping board control. Next up, we are running 2 copies of Black, Metal Greymon, who is an 8 casting cost, 3 Digivolution cost, 7,000 power. He himself gets Reboot, and his inheritable skills, if you have Reboot, you get Security Attack +1. So I'm actually testing this right now, and this may actually go to a 3 of, depending on how some further testing is. Right now to 2 of, we're doing okay, because we're trying to build up one of the legendary arm monsters first before we settle into our Blitz Greymon line. But we're only running him at a 2 of right now. He may be bumped up to a 3 of later. And then we are also running 2 copies of Middle Mommymon. He has Reboot. He has same casting cost, power, and Digivolution cost as Metal Greymon. The reason I put him in here is because he is a graveyard tech. Because when he's Digivolving, return 1 level 7 card with the virus attribute from your trash to your hand. And that gets us RagnaLoardmon and Millennium if we are running Millennium in the deck. I am at the moment, because I don't have 4 RagnaLoardmons, but we'll change that as deck profiles update. We are running only 2 of him, much like 2 Metal Greymon. I may just take him out completely and run 4 Metal Greymons, but I've seen being able, if you pop a level 7 in security, if they're sitting in your trash, you can Digivolve, you can get that level 7 to your hand. So I do see him as a nice tech inclusion. I'm still trying to see if he's worth being a permanent spot in the deck. But this is a good idea for some mild recursion. 4 megas. We are running 4 copies of Blitz Greymon. He is our key card in the deck. Normally you see him in a lot of red decks. I like splashing him in black because he gets the reboot line. He gets piercing, and when digivolving, we can de-digivolution 2. The piercing just makes it even better. He's a 12,000 DP, so he gets over a lot of other megas. 12 casting cost. He can be either digivolve from a low at 4 for red or 4 for black. We are running black. And the piercing just helps in general. Constantly being able to reboot, have security attack +1, have jamming and piercing, makes for a pretty lethal combination. He is what I was looking for in black over Machine Dramon, which was our previous black build. Because we are splashing in red, we are running 2 Durandamons. He is another mega. He is a cheaper casting cost of 10, cheaper digivolution cost of 3. Still 12,000 power, which is good. He has the inheritable skill of piercing. And he is there to feed into RagnaLoardmon skill, plus another high-powered Digimon that can get over a lot of megas, say for some of the newer ones. But also just overall cheaper cost if we just don't have the resources to get out Blitz Greymon at the moment. Plus it feeds into RagnaLoardmon skill. We're running right now 2 copies of Millennium. Guys, these are placeholders. I'll be straight up honest with you on that. They're waiting to get more RagnaLoardmons, hopefully. However, he is still not too bad in the grand scheme of things because he is a 13 digipower, 15 casting cost, 6 black or 6 purple to digivolve. He does have the ability of, when digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of the deck and trash all Digivolution resources of that Digimon. And on Digivolution, if this card had Digivolution cards, you may play this card from your trash without paying its memory cost. So when you delete it, it comes back so long as you have Digivolution material. And when it comes back, you can, what's the term from Vanguard? Time spin something back to their deck and make them trash everything, which is almost the ultimate de-Digivolution of just you never existed. So we're running 2 of him right now until I can get 2 RagnaLoardmons, but he still does have a place in this deck, surprisingly. We are also running, again, 2 copies of RagnaLoardmon. He is our other main Digivolution line we are going to be running in this deck. He is a 14 casting cost, 3 black, 3 red Digivolution, 14,000 digipower. He has security attack +1, reboot, and when digivolving me +1 Durandamon, which is what we're running, or 1 Bring Ludomon, which unfortunately I don't have, or I'd be running that. From your hand to on top of this card's Digivolution thing to gain 3 memory. So we can run him either the Legendary Arms to give us mass Digivolution, at least Digivolution times 2, every swing, which is good. We can slide in a Ludomon, a Durandamon, to gain 3 memory. He already has piercing, he already has reboot. So he's a bit of a force to be reckoned with. He is our other ace in the deck. As for options, we are running 4 copies of Infinity Cannon. As I said before, I think black, if you run the D-Digivolution line, this card is only going to get better and better as it goes along. My belief still holds to that. Infinity Cannon is a 6 cost. Main effect is D-Digivolution 4. If you knock him down from a Mega all the way to a Rookie, you can't trash any further, but you've knocked him all the way down from a Mega to a Rookie, or a Hybrid or Combiner Mega to a Rookie. Furthermore, in security, if you happen to check it, which hopefully you should, you have 4. So you have a pretty decent chance. It's just played for free. And then whatever they've been trying to build up gets sent back to the rookie level. We are running 2 copies of Looking Back at Good Times. This is a forecasting cost. It says D-Digivolve 1, one of your opponent's Digimon. If this Digimon would be level 3, you can't do it anymore. Then if that Digimon's play cost is 4 or less, delete it. So this is our only D-Digivolution that actually lets us delete. I would run this at a 4 of, but unfortunately it doesn't cast out of security. It only adds back to your hand, so I'm a little hesitant to run more than 2 copies of this. But this is, again, one of the only cards that lets us actually delete something. So we can cast this on an opposing's ultimate, let them go back to champion, and then just delete the champion right out there. This gets rid of early blockers really, really well and is sorely underutilized. But the only reason I'm running it out of 2 of is because it can't activate out of security, which kind of holds it back for me. We are running 2 copies of Breath of Gods. This is a 2 casting cost. One of your Digimon gains reboot, and this Digimon can have its DP reduced or returned to the opponent's deck or hand until the end of the turn. And then its security ability is your opponent cannot attack players this turn. So Breath of Gods lets us get reboots. We are saved from any sort of power drain, any sort of spin back. And then if it comes out of security, we can't be attacked, which may save us in the grand scheme of things from a fatal shot during the opponent's turn. We're running this out of 2 of. I may bump this up more. I may keep it at 2. I am still testing some things, but this is fun to think of. And then finally, we are only running 2 Tai Kamiya. I thought about running Joe, but we are not very blocker heavy, so that doesn't really do us any good. It's just the classic effect of all your black Digimon during your opponent's turns gets 1000 DP. So they have to get over to that threshold, which is somewhat easy, especially in yellow now. But your blockers being 4K and 8K does make a difference in the early game if you can get them out earlier. And then at the start of your turn, if your memory is 2 or less, say your memory is 3. Nothing amazing out of there. He's just there to power up early game if you can hit him early game. I only really have room to run him at a 2 of right now. Plus, I only have 2 of them. But that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I will put the full deck description in the comments, so be on the lookout for there. I am always looking for feedback. I am always looking to test new things out. So if you like the video, like, subscribe, all the good shenanigans that we all ask you to do. And I will see you guys next time.